Let's get it started in here.
Turn me up. The Party Starter Podcast is on. DJ Blue Diamond.
For the ladies, baby.
DJ Scenario.
DJ.
And DJ J5.
Come on. We in here.
Welcome to the Party Starter Podcast. It's your boy DJ Scenario.
It's DJ J5.
And it's your wifey and your hubby's favorite DJ, Blue Diamond, baby.
Ooh.
And today is Hump Day.
Oh, is it?
Yes, it is. Okay.
We're gonna kick the show right away, right? The topic today is longevity in the music industry in this DJ game. You know, it's the DJ podcast, so we gotta talk some music, we gotta talk some DJing, and we got a special guest in the building.
DJ Prostyle.
Hey.
That boy DJ Prostyle, he's here.
What's poppin'?
Welcome to the party.
Hello, familia. What's going on today?
We got the boss in the building.
So usually we kick it off and we ask them, you know, how was your ride over here? But you're here every day. So.
That's right, I know. And normally you guys have like artists and celebrities here, but you guys can have
You are
everybody.
a celebrity.
Hey, you are a celebrity.
You
You are.
Slam dunk that.
Now, what's poppin' though?
So, all right. For the people who don't know, you're not only a DJ, you wear a lot of other hats, I want to say. Can you tell us what other hats you wear, at least here in this building?
Can I actually answer a phone call real quick?
Sure.
This is Samantha.
Absolutely.
Hold on, I'm sorry.
Edit this.
Hello?
No, life of a celebrity.
Yo,
And this part, I want you to put like the SpongeBob 5
you
hours
can close it,
later.
yeah,
You know, that part, I want you to put that part right there. And then we get back to it.
sorry,
all right?
the office was left open, people. We had to close the door.
We are back. Okay.
So I wear a lot of hats, is that what you said?
Yes.
Yeah. So, what do I
Can
do
you
here?
tell us? Can you
Oh,
tell
here at
us?
Power 105.1, I am an on-air personality, a DJ, and the music director.
Okay, and being the music director, you told me 3. I took notice of 2, but you told me you did 3 stations. You did iHeart, counting as 1, Power 105, and Z100.
No, I'm on Power 105.1.
Yeah.
No, but you did at one
in the
point.
past. Oh,
Yes.
I've done every. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean, yeah. In the past, I mean, I've done and still work with at times. I mean, obviously, every day I'm on Power 105.1. Here within this cluster, I've also done. I was doing mixes for the morning show at KTU. I was doing mixes for Z100. I was also doing mixes for the Z100. Well, it wasn't a Z100, but my man Romeo's syndicated show, which was on like 170 or 100 something like that, top 40 stations. And of course, you know, in Orlando, I did Power 95.3 in Orlando, 102 Jams Orlando. I also here in New York, back in the days, I did a Univision station. It was called La Calle, which was big.
And that brings us to that topic of longevity in this game. You know, you've been in this game a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You've seen people come and go, and
Absolutely.
you've seen artists come and go. You've seen it. You've been there. You've been in the mix with everybody.
For sure.
You know, being who you are. You know.
What do you think is it that got you to this point in life? Like, as far as like if like a DJ trying to get to your level, what do you think was the most important thing you did to get to this point?
I think for me, if we go from where I began to where I'm at now, I've taken every step possible. There has been no jumping from one step to the next,
No
or
shortcuts.
no shortcuts. Nobody pulling me up. You know what I'm saying? Nobody opened really any doors like that for me either. I literally, you know, I was born and raised in New York till about 12 years old. Then my family moved us to Orlando. In Orlando, I already had the passion for music, but I wasn't DJing at the time. I was like 12 years old. But there was nothing to do there. And luckily, I have an older sister. When she did a Sweet 16 party in our house, I think I was 12 still. She was turning 16. The DJ who we had DJ the house party that day when he was DJing, I was just like, oh my God, this is so cool. Like, he's playing all the music. He seems like the cool person. Everyone knows him. And it's like, I was like, this guy is so cool. Like, this guy, you know what I mean? And at the end of the night, when the party was over, I was like just staring at the equipment, and he was like, yo, let me show you some stuff. He was like, oh, you could do this. And he was kind of showing me how to scratch a little bit, playing around with it. And then he left. He was like, he asked my sister, I guess, can he leave the equipment at the house for he was going to come back. He said, I'll come back tomorrow and pick it up. And they were like, cool. And then he was like, yo, if you want to mess around with the equipment, you can. You know, here's how you turn it on. This is how you play the record. You know, obviously we're talking about vinyl back in the days. You know what I'm saying?
Much more difficult.
This is how you move the fader from one side to the other. Look, if you put it here, this side plays. If you put it here, this side plays.
You didn't break no needles, bro.
You know, I mean, that's a whole. I didn't break his. Not his needles, but I've broken thousands of needles in my lifetime. But he left it there, and I didn't go to sleep. So I stayed up the whole night messing with his turntables. I was like 12, like I said. He ended up leaving it there for like 2 or 3 days. So, and for 2 or 3 days, that's all I did, mess with it. And at that point, I was just like, this is what I want to do. Like, I gotta get a turntable.
My own, yeah.
So when he came and got it, I begged my parents, like, please, can I go to the pawn? I started going to pawn shops, and I found a pawn shop that had a turntable for sale and a mixer. It was just one turntable and a mixer, right? So I begged them, and my mom actually went and bought it for me. And keep in mind, I'm still 12 at the time. And once I got it home, I had like 2 records at the house. And I would just sit there just scratching the one record. That's it, just playing with it. But I could only play one record. I only had one turntable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was, I think it was on the right side or the left side. I don't remember at that moment. You know what I'm saying? But, you
That's where you started. So, but going back to where you started, you were part of the heavy hitters.
Well, I ended up, years later in the game. I'm talking about, this is after being on radio, after being on TV and everything. Then I was doing an event with BET down in Florida. They did this big thing called Spring Bling. Mm-hmm. And when they first kicked it off, when they brought Spring Bling to Florida, it was during it was called Black College Reunion Weekend, BCR. So they would do it in Daytona Beach. And Daytona Beach happened to be in the airwaves of 102 Jams, which was the station I was DJing for at the time. And I was like 19 when this happened. So BET, the reps from BET came to Orlando, and they were there for like a month, kind of recruiting people to go to this BET. It was their first show. So they were sending, shout out to my man Terrence Clay, he was the guy. They would come out.
Terrence.
Shout out to
from
Terrence.
back in the day. So
Yeah,
Terrence
he put me on
came.
there.
He came and he started coming to all the clubs, and at that time we were running Orlando, already. So I was DJing all the clubs, and he would come to those clubs because that's where all the people were at, all the girls, all the people he wanted to invite and say, hey, you want to be, they were paying for people to go down there or giving them, I guess, hotel rooms because they needed them for the TV show to be on TV. So anyway, he stepped to me. I was DJing a club, and he was like, yo, it's crazy. We'd love to have you. What do you think about coming down there and DJing in between the show? You know what I'm saying? Like, not on camera, not part of the show, but when we're off camera, we're going to need somebody to keep the crowd going. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, I'll do it. So I went out there, and when they were down, it's funny because when they weren't ready for it. Like, so when BET went and started doing Spring Bling, this is when like New York, like Method Man, Redman was popping.
Was that BET or MTV?
I think that was
BET.
MTV.
No, it's BET.
MTV,
I never did MTV. I was always on BET. And
don't correct me.
now
You're just too young.
You're too young.
You're
Yeah.
just-
You was
Just a baby. She was just a
You
baby.
was definitely still playing with
I
Barbie
came around
dolls.
with
and stuff.
106 and 5. Probably not even that. Probably not even that. Probably teddy bears.
So we started doing that. So how I ended up meeting enough is that show that I went to DJ. He was there DJing for the show. Him, and I never forget, it was the producer, Rock Raider. No, the producer. I'm tripping because I can't remember his name. But anyway, they had 2 DJs there. But the crowd was really a down south crowd. It wasn't a New York crowd. So the crowd wasn't really feeling like the Wu-Tang records and the records that I love that I would normally play, like Mobb Deep records, It was cool, but that wasn't it. So this is before music genres had started really mixing. So like there was Pastor Troy records and this is like Lil Jon before anybody knew Lil Jon, and it was a bunch of other down south artists that were, this was like I Ain't Never Scared and all those kind of records were out before they made it up here. So down there they were huge, Knuck If You Buck and all these records. They never even had left the South region yet. So I knew about them, but they didn't know about them. So I never forget, I got on during one of the breaks and started playing and they went nuts. So the producers came out to me immediately and they were like, keep playing. They're like, tell the people to look at the camera. And they started bringing the cameras around because the crowd was going crazy. At that moment, so Enough came up there and was like, oh, yo, this is crazy. Like, what records are those? So we started talking about music and I started telling him about the records. And he's like, yo, you got to, let's change numbers. And we changed numbers. And Enough's mad cool. So we kicked it for a while. And then just internally through people we knew, I ended up, she was like, it would be great. And we talked and he's like, yo, I have this camp called the Heavy Hitters and rest in peace. But DJ Threat at the time, who they really built the Heavy Hitters around, he was still alive. So I ended up being real cool with him. So I would come to New York and stay at DJ Threat's house. You know,
Crazy.
and I would come to his house.
That's big.
I would sleep in his apartment and would DJ all night. And then above his apartment, and I don't know if you guys know Gabi and Nelson, they're longtime vets in the game. They used to live right above him. So I'd come there and stay in their apartment with them, come down, you know. So we were all coming up at the same time, you know what I mean? So that's how I got down with the heavy hitters from like back in day one, you know what I'm saying?
Well, going back to that, what do you think was important back then to be a part of? Why do you think it was important to be a part of a DJ group?
Compared to now.
Or do you think it was important to be a part of a DJ group?
I think back then it was important to be part for sure. And even now, it's, you know, listen, I don't knock anybody who's part of a DJ crew now versus back then or in the future if you want to be part of one. It's all about what you need or what you feel is right or what's going on in that DJ crew, you know, that makes you want to be part of a DJ crew. Like if it's just a DJ crew and, you know, and we'll speak on the DJ crew stuff and even with All Pro at the time.
That's what I was going to ask you.
We'll
Like,
get
what
to
do you
that,
feel
right?
compared to...
So like, when heavy hitters, you know, when I got with them, and they're still major, and shout out to all the heavy hitters out there, you know what I'm saying? And even though I'm not part of heavy hitters now, you know, they're still major part, and
it's
shout
part
out to
of your
everybody.
growth process.
It's part of just being, and it's part
Finding
of being
yourself.
part of a team, though, also of people, of peers that are all doing what you do also. So it's always great to be part of a team. And also, as you're growing up as a DJ, and you're looking at all these other DJs who are already established, you know what I'm saying? It's different from when I got down with the heavy hitters in the beginning, you know, they were just coming up as well. There was a Big Dog, you know, the Big Dog Pitbulls, and there was crews. So it was part of being a DJ crew was like it at
Understand
the time.
who you
know
know
what I'm
with, like, okay,
like,
that,
okay,
they're
it's part
of
of
that.
them, you know what I'm saying?
He's part
and
of
it
them.
kind of like, you know what I'm saying? So when I came to New York, now it was different. Like, I'm going up there and I'm hanging out with Enough and them at Hot 97 and I'm doing whatever, you know what I'm saying? So even now, it's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like all these DJs crews that are going on, you know what I'm saying? Now, I always felt like if you're going to be part of a DJ crew or have a DJ crew, it should really mean something. And at the time, so when All Pro got real big, and even J5 and the rest of the fan became All Pro, people used to always ask me like, yo, why don't you keep getting more DJs? And you guys, you know, now you guys are on fire out here. You know, when we were really moving around crazy out here, and why don't you do this and that? I've never been the type who wants to take the responsibility of another person. Like I know how to control my own destiny. Like I said, I made it to where I'm at on my own. You know what I'm saying? And still, every door I want to open, I open them basically on my own. And every step, I'm not scared to take chances. I've always, you guys know, like I'll take risks. I left Orlando when I was running it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like literally, like had it made. You know what I'm saying?
What made you leave Orlando?
Just
what was
growth.
the moment?
Just growth.
You felt like it was more opportunity, bigger opportunity
took
in
over
New
Miami.
York.
Let me go take over.
You know, because I was in Orlando doing it for so long, and it's just like sometimes you don't want to be. You know, it's like if you wanted to make it there, you had to talk to me type of situation, and it's like, and I felt like I wasn't, but that's how people made it. But I also didn't feel like that. I felt like I didn't make it yet. How you trying to talk to me about making it? Like I'm nowhere where I want to be.
They put you on something
you know
that you really feel like, you know.
So and then it was a couple of reasons why I moved. Like, you know, keep in mind I was doing 106 in Park weekly, so I was flying for like 3 years. I flew back and forth every single week. You know what I'm saying?
That's a lot.
So. Like it's all years. That's what I'm saying. Like so, when you talk
platinum,
about longevity in the game, there's a lot. Like we could talk about this. It would be a long podcast. But what I'm saying is there's a lot of steps. You know what I'm saying? From doing mixtapes, from just creating a name within your own friends, to creating a name within your own block, to then your own area in your city that you're in, or your town, or your borough, to growing and growing to like to the point where you get to where you know where you're at the current state of time.
Speaking of creating a name, where did Prostyle the name come from?
So it's crazy. So basically, 1 year I got expelled from high school, right? And I was in this program.
Stay in school.
Yeah, so stay in school, people. Which is not a good thing to do. But anyway, but it actually benefited me. This is just me, just the situation.
Just his life.
So what happened? Just in this one freak time that it benefited. No, so what happened is I got put into this like juvenile program, right? Which out there it was a school that which helped me actually become who I was as far as a DJ, right, in Orlando. And actually, it's funny, but it was a blessing, me getting kicked out of school, you know, which you don't want to. But it's not like I dropped out of school, by the way. I got kicked out for something I had no parts of. You know what I'm saying? But I got expelled for it nonetheless. And I got put into a school program that they were just starting now. It was called New Horizon, or one of them things where you go there and there's no teachers. You kind of sit in front of a computer. You teach yourself at your own pace, blah, blah, blah. And you could graduate that year. You know, you get the credit the same way you would be in high school, right? Yeah. So I went through that. In that school I was in was all the worst kids who were getting expelled from all the other schools in Orlando. So, and essentially, and you don't want to look at it like that, but back in the days, not now, because now is a lot of clout chasing. It wasn't like when I was growing up, it wasn't about clout chasing. It was like really
respect.
Like there was respect. Like so, the kids who I was in school with were the toughest or the drug dealers or the bad kids who really were in those areas. That's what they really were. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up becoming cool to all of them. So when I started DJing, I had clout in all like the areas already. You know what I'm saying? So it was like I had the street. So they were like, Prostyle, oh, that's that kid who everyone messed with Prostyle because he fucks with everybody. You know what I'm saying? How I came up with the name at the time was I really just sat down one day with a piece of paper and started writing down words. I swear to God. Just started writing down words that I felt represented me but also were cool at the time. So the one thing that I always stuck with was professional. The reason is people always said, yo, you're really professional. You're really professional with the way you handle things. You're really I was the type back in the days when I would do a mixtape, and this was way before there was studio equipment also, you know. You got to press record and go. That's it.
Yeah,
so if you make a mistake 45 minutes into your mix, you either going to keep that mistake on there's no editing. You're either keeping that or you starting over. I would start over. You know what I'm saying? So I always made sure that everything I did, I wanted to be flawless. So professional is how I approach things, and my family used to always be like, oh, you know, you got to be professional with it, and you're professional, that's great, you know, and you know, so, and my name is Alex, you know, Alexander. So at first I really wanted to go with professional because people used to call me Al. You know what I'm saying, when I was young. So, oh, yo, Al. So it was like, it was going to be professional. I didn't take that name even though I wanted it because there was a DJ in Main Source, which was a group, you know what I'm saying, whose name was Professional or Professional or something like that. So I was like, damn it. There's somebody with a DJ name. I can't believe this. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I didn't go. So I just kept writing down words. And at that time, you know, stilo and this and style and all this kind of words were coming out and they were popping at the time. So then I was like, oh, professional this, professional. And I got to professional style. I was like, that sounds kind of cool. It sounds kind of long. And then I was like, what if I cut? And then somehow or another, I came with pro and style. So I started asking the people in there, what do you think about pro style? They're like, I never heard of it. Sounds cool. It sounds different. Bro, like, what? So I was like, oh, you know, let me just try it. So then I ended up having a party coming up. And I got booked for a party that was pretty big. And they were like, what's your DJ name? And I was like, shit. I don't have one, really. I really don't have one. So I ended up just telling them Prostyle, and they put it on the flyer, and we went with it. And after that, it was kind of, I just didn't turn back until I ended up. And once you get to a level where people start knowing you, that's your DJ name, then it's like, that's it.
That's
you know
it.
what I'm saying?
You don't want to change it now.
It now. There was times where I was like, oh, I want to change it. I want to go back to that.
What was your second
There has been
guess
DJs that we know that has changed their names from
Ill
being...
Skills was another DJ name that I had.
Ill
Skills.
Thank God we stuck to Prostyle, right?
Yeah, Ill Skills.
Let's just stay. Let's start telling them we don't like that one.
Just shut up.
So what is like one of the most memorable parties you've done, like coming up? Like what
You know,
was
the
one
one
that
that always-
stands out to you forever?
Oh, Busta Rhymes concert. Always. It was my first big breakout concert.
Nice.
Yeah. Immediately it stands out. There's nothing to talk about. You know, like I tell them all the time. I actually think Fat Joe and Pun were there too. I'm not sure if it's the same party, but I know Busta was like on fire at the time. But it was the first concert I DJ'd. So it was me DJing with a reggae sound. Like coming up and I grew up always around Jamaicans also. So every party I did was me DJing as the hip hop. The flyer would say hip hop set by DJ Prostyle. Yeah. You know, featuring whatever the sound, whatever the sound was.
Headline.
And it was, and I wasn't even the headline. I want to say,
and reggae was big at that time with all the dancehall shit.
And it still is. Down in Florida, you know, reggae is huge. You know what I'm saying? It's always been big. You know, as closer you get to the Caribbean, you know how it goes.
Oh yeah.
That's why it's always been big in Miami. But so that party though was my first time really headlining. And when I got on, I was mad nervous. Never forget, like trying to put the needle on the record, shit shaking, because there was no going back to it. You remember, there's no computers these days. There's no let me get the other
Your
wire.
hands got to be extra steady.
There's no let me get. These are my needles. So the DJ, as soon as he was done, would take. There was that break in time. You putting needles on the turntable. It's quiet.
Oh wow.
So I'm in a club now.
That's how they used to switch it. Like
you got to put vinyl on, and hope that the sound comes through good, and hope that then you start dealing with feedback. You know, hope that the bass doesn't make your record skip. There's a lot of things back when you're a DJ you had to go through. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like you literally could have a sound that was so that the bass would hit and the needle would jump. So there was nothing you could do about it.
People didn't know about that. They would just look at you
like you. So anyway, so I came on with a bunch of records. I had like a whole routine set in my head, and I did it, killed it. The place went nuts, and and that's when I remember. And one thing I did that night, and it changed my life, was I started saying things on the microphone for the first time, and they would react to them, and I was like, this is crazy. I would say hands up, they'd go put their hands up, like make some noise.
Lighters in the air, lighters in the air.
Kick
somebody dead.
Lay down, jump up, no. But what I'm saying, and I learned that from Kid Capri. You know what I'm saying? And Kid Capri, as a young person, wanted to be a DJ. I went to a Kid Capri party, and he's the first DJ I saw. Because when I grew up around reggae DJs, it was always a DJ with somebody else on the microphone and somebody like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? There were reggae, there were sounds, right? That's what they call it. Like, you know, so there was a sound. So like it was always like 3 people. You know what I'm saying? And here I am, one person. So I'm like, I got to do everything myself. I don't got nobody to talk on the microphone for me and all that shit. But I didn't need it because Kid Capri. Because when I went to see Kid Capri, I went to a sold out. It was like a basketball court or something like that. Packed house. He got on stage and he was a one-man show. And I said, wow, if you're going to be a DJ, you got to be able to do what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
Which he talked to the crowd. He did scratched. He mixed. He did everything. He did, you know, and I made it a point to be that kind of DJ. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I got as far as I have, always being energetic and being, you know, like a one-man show. You know what I'm saying?
Since you've been around for a little bit of time, let's say,
I've been around, man.
you know, we're not gonna make you sound old though, but so. What would you say?
I'm not that old. You know why? Because I started so young. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was on mainstream radio at 17.
Wow.
Yeah. So look, my intro,
did you even,
and I was on the #1 radio station doing 5 o'clock, the 5 o'clock mix.
Prime time.
My intro, because I used to make intros. I used to use Mobb Deep from Shook One. You know when he'd be like, I'm only 19, but my mind is. It was 18 or 19 that he would say. I'm only 19. I think it was 19 or 18. Whatever it was.
Talk to me, Queens.
I think it's 18.
All I know is they scared, they mad, they shook.
We talking about Prostyle.
Yeah.
So Queens, talk to me. Oh, we
It's
ain't
Prostyle
Queens
story,
today, right?
Yeah,
we
we'll talk about that later.
So Mobb Deep. I mean,
Turn the camera off.
Have y'all heard Shook One? How young are y'all?
They scared, they mad, they shook. That's all I know. They scared, they mad, they shook, right?
Yeah,
I know that much.
Smash, hit you in the face, smash your brain with your nose bone. Come on. You know what I mean?
I don't
But
know.
anyway, so this is how you know how young I was. That I used to have to edit that part to say I was younger. So I used to use that. I'm only, and I'd have a little sample that says 17. I'm only 17,
snuck
but
that
my
in.
mind is older. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I started a long time ago. Been in the game a long time. So yeah.
The question was, what do you think has changed throughout the whole DJ cycle? Like, per se, DJs back then in your time, DJs, you're still a popping DJ today. So
the only thing is there's more DJs, and that's because it's gotten easier. And when I say easier, it's just more, and it's not a bad thing. So like, I hate when I hear people hating. Like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
It's
like,
the future.
Yeah, it is what it is. Like, no matter what it is that's going on in life, it is what it is. You just got it. You could either be the person who's bitter and mad about shit, or
Make the most.
you
Keep
make the
doing your
most
thing.
of it. Oh, you know, when there was a lot of DJs hating on Serato. Oh, you're not a real DJ. You're not using vinyl.
I hated
oh
that.
yeah, I
Mother,
did that a lot.
let me tell you something, motherfucker. How many clubs do you carry 18 crates of records? 'Cause I was happy as shit that I didn't have to, because I remember carrying the crates in, like, it was crazy. But you gotta change with time. But the difference I would say now is that there's more DJs, and it's because it's easier and it's more. I can't think of the word right now, but you could DJ. The resources are so much easier. You gotta remember,
Easier, like,
when I
accessible.
started DJing, you had to buy the records, and not only did you have to buy the records, you had to buy 2. You understand?
Oh yeah. If you really wanted to juggle.
So
that and
like
play with
if
it.
Drake
Oh,
came out,
man.
let's say there was a Drake record right now you want to play, like, or let's say you want to play, you know, The Box from Roddy Ricch, right?
Yeah.
That was the hottest record out, or Suge from Debate, whatever. You'd go to the record store, you'd have to buy that single for like $5.99, and you'd have to buy 2 of them, because you got to be able to. 1, you want to be able to juggle it. 2, if you're lucky, you could buy 2, because vinyl. It was hard to get vinyl back in the days. There's some records that came out that I didn't even get because I was in Florida. So now, until I got my weight up with the radio game, and then and radio and labels started actually shipping vinyl. I mean, when I used to get vinyl sent to my house, it was like Christmas. You know what I'm saying? To have the doorbell ring open, and it would be, and I knew it was a package from
how did
Loud
you guys-
Records or Def Jam with the new album. I was like a kid. You know what I'm saying? So when I say the reason it's easier now, and I'll say easier and there's more DJs, is because you could just get a computer, get a hard drive from your man's, and that's it. You got 30,000 records. back then you could have wanted to be a DJ. It could have been your passion. It could have been what you want, but you might not have been able to afford to do it.
How much would you say you spent on records throughout your DJ career?
Thousands, because I've had thousands of records that I've
Probably
bought.
well over $5,000.
Probably more than that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Probably within my whole lifetime. You know, yes and no. This is how I got lucky. I got lucky because when I first started DJing, one of my boys, his older brother, used to DJ. So when I told him I was gonna be DJ, he said, "Yo, you know my brother used to be a DJ." He's like, "But he don't DJ anymore." I was like, "Really?" Da da da. So he's like, I was like, "Does he have records? Does he want to?" He said, "Let me talk to him." Good enough. Same day he hits me. He's like, "Yo, my brother said give him $100. Come to the house. You could take all his records." Now, I came there with $100. I didn't even know what kind of music he had. Now he didn't have hip hop music, but hip hop also at the same time was just coming out like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't big yet. So he had house records and techno, like old school freestyle music and whatever was popping. So that's how I learned how to scratch good, because I used to scratch to fast tempos. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I like jump started my record collection for like $100, and I had like 3 crates of records. I thought I was the shit. I never forget. I think Ed O.G. and the Bulldogs. I forgot what, Be a Man or something like that. Oh, Father to Your Child. That record and Tupac's Brenda's Got a Baby were the first records I bought ever in my life. I went to it was called Peach Street or something like that. It was a record store in Orlando. In Orlando. Huh?
You're not that old then if Tupac was around.
Yeah, no. I told you I started young. You know what I'm saying? So, but I've been in the game like, 20 years. At least 20 years, you know what I'm saying?
20 strong years.
20 strong years.
It's a long time.
Yeah. Well, also before that, I came up, like I said, there's so many steps that I missed, but like before I got on mainstream radio, I used to go to college radio. And I used to go there when Nasty and DJ Khaled and all them were doing, Khaled used to live in Orlando. So they used to go do radio, and I used to go with them. So I was like 14, 15 at the time, just hanging out in the radio station.
So how did the connection of you and Khaled come together?
Just, they were
just part
like
of the same like
you
DJ
remember when
scene.
we came up in Orlando, there was no hip-hop scene in Orlando, period. There was no DJ, like if you wanted to do
There's
it, was
not
like
a lot
Spanish.
going on in Orlando, period.
No, there's a lot going on in Orlando now. Orlando doesn't get the credit for what it is. It's a great city and it has a lot of great artists right now. You know what I'm saying? They just, it's always been a thing trying to come out of Orlando. I think just the record labels, either they don't go there or they haven't approached it correctly. Yeah. But now some of the more, if you want to switch gears on music, some of the biggest artists ever have come out of Orlando. Because you talk about like Backstreet Boys, NSYNC and all them, they all came out from there.
Oh, deadass?
Yeah. Because Johnny Wright.
That's a different level right there.
Johnny Wright.
Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
But so back then, how did you guys used to exchange records, or was that a thing? There was no
like
such
people
thing.
like,
there was no such thing as
records?
exchanging records. I'm trying to say. How do you mean exchange?
That was
it's not like, yo, send me the MP3.
Back then it was like, look at the record I got. Don't touch the shit. Don't scratch it.
Nah, sorry, my brother, you got to get your own. Like that commercial, like you got to get your own.
I don't even know if there was, I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know if there was emails and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it was before all that. You know what I'm saying? We're talking back in the days, baby. I'm talking about belt-driven turntables. I remember I snapping one during a party where, I had 2 turntables during a party, and while I'm training there, scratching one, broke it. The belt broke. So I'm looking at it. I pulled the top off, and good enough, there's a rubber band. There's a little thing that spins. The rubber band went around it. I tied a knot in the rubber band, put it back on,
and got back
and
to
it
rocking.
worked. And I would just think fast enough to change records because it would go like, boom, boom, because it was going over that lump. You know what I'm saying? But like, this is shit that happened.
Gotta make it happen, and you did, man.
It's back in the day stuff, And then we fast forward to now. Then yes, now it's like, hey, you want to be a DJ? I got you. Like all you need is go get yourself a computer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Go get yourself a computer. They got crazy deals on CDJs or these little. Now you got the the mixers, and they're making them smaller and smaller. Shit, dog. I just saw one on the internet. It's like the size of a laptop, but it's like a mixer with 2 channels. Like that's all you need, and you don't need, by the way, your computer. Like it's like a whole setup that you put, like you connect your hard drive to.
The music and everything going on.
Everything is right. The mixer, the fader's right there. The 2 channels. That you're not scratching on it, but you could. Yeah, you could. And you just plug your hard drive right into that, and it's like using. You know what I'm saying? So they're making it easier and easier, and it's gonna always be like that. You know what I'm saying?
You're saying that it's so much easier to become a DJ. Anybody could be a DJ, but to be a known DJ, what advice would you give?
Well, that's the difference. So everyone could be a DJ, but with that being said, it's also harder. So like I said, there's a gift and a curse to everything.
It's harder to stand out.
back in the days, if you became a DJ, you were one in a handful of DJs in your city, probably. You know what I'm saying? So the competition level wasn't there. You just had to go hard for it, and it would cost money, and you had to grind hard. And remember, there's no social media. You had to do flyers. I used to be in Kinko's cutting up flyers, doing all that kind of shit, right? So nowadays, you could be a DJ. You could have social media following. You could build a social media following and then decide to be a DJ, because it's people getting money. And you could just all types of ways to want to become a DJ, but then you could become it. What makes you become a DJ that stands out after that is what you do it yourself. What kind of DJ are you? How do you rock? How every time a opportunity shows up, are you taking advantage of it? Are you DJing that club and killing it, or are you just showing up? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, back in the days, I made sure that everywhere I went, it was a movie. Like, you had to kill it. You had to make a movie out of it. If they weren't telling you rocked and you killed the shit at the end of the night, it was a problem. You know what I'm saying? Where now I think it's just a little different. So there's so many, it's like anything, you know what I mean? It gets oversaturated. So only the strong survive, and only the handful will stick out. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you have to do to make yourself that person, you have to make yourself that person. I would say, for me, if I had to give somebody advice in today's day, social media is definitely a very important tool to making yourself known. Skills, I think, are very important. Like, everybody, especially from a DJ standpoint, any DJ will show another DJ love when that DJ is nice. You can't hate on that.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. When you see somebody tearing it down as a DJ, you be like, this motherfucker's nice. You know what I'm saying? You can't beat it. You can't go around it. You know what I'm saying? There's just no, you can't hate on that. You can't hate on skill. You know what I'm saying? You can hate on a person's attitude or how they carry themselves or whatever, but skill is skill. But yeah, I mean, you got to be and another thing, you got to be a people's person. That's another thing I've been always. You know what I'm saying? I went through phases of times where, I was catching a backlash of, people who always thought I was one way, not really knowing me. And it's because of more of the people I ran with, or because how I rolled. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'd roll up very heavy, deep. This cars, jewelry, a bunch of people stunned, and so people could create whatever persona they want about you without knowing you, which still happens today. But look, if you're out there and you're trying to be a DJ and you want to come up and you want to really make it, you got to do everything in your possible to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Stand out.
You got to get those bookings, do as many as you can. You got to put out mixtapes, now, you see this, SoundCloud, there's mixes. There's so many ways. I don't do any of that stuff right now myself. I really have slowed down a lot, for sure. You know what I'm saying? But there's so many platforms now. And a lot of people just want to be on radio. Radio's not the only platform. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of DJs killing it who never have been or never will be on the radio and don't care to be on it, because radio is a job. And that comes with a responsibility. You know what I'm saying? So for people out there who automatically think, I just want to be on the radio, that's how you know you made it. No. You know what I'm saying? You can make it 1,000 other ways. I can tell you right now, there's some DJs in this game getting huge money who don't care or never will care about doing radio. You know what I'm saying? You just got to build a following. And with that following comes everything else. You know what I mean?
So All Pro, how did All Pro start for you?
All Pro is a family thing, It never was created to be a
DJ crew,
a record label it had actually. Let me backtrack. It had to do with a record label. Yes. So me and my brother Chino started All Pro in Orlando, and at the time this is when we were running the city. We were like, what else can we do? Like I said, once you get to a point where it's like, all right, we I had 5 broadcasts during the week on radio stations. We had, basically Tuesday through Sunday parties going on. We ran the city. All the money, we were taking everything, which is great. But we were like, what else can we do? And I was just like, I think the next step for us is to become we have everyone in our, we have the streets, we have the everything. Let's start putting out music. So I was like, let's create a record label. So we started going through different names for record labels. And, Chino was very adamant, like, yo, you got to be the face of it. So, call it, he was like, just call it DJ Prostyle Records. Like, no, I'm not doing it. Definitely not calling it DJ Prostyle Records, So we messed around words, and then, and somehow, I don't know if it was me or somebody else mentioned All Pro, and I thought about it, and I was like, when you say All Pro, especially on an athletic level, you want to be on the All Pro team. Oh, that's how it came up. So we were playing video games. All right? So when you're playing a video game, and like you're playing Madden or something like that, back in the days, you pick what you want to play.
The highest level.
The highest level was All Pro. So you wanted to play All Pro. I was like, this is crazy. That makes a lot of sense. So I
worked out
I hit up a
perfectly.
lawyer, because I was like, look, it has pro in there, which I know they wanted me to be the kind of face of it, But All Pro would be like, yo, you're on the All Pro team. Like, you're on the best of the best. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we created it. We created it to do a record label. But then it became, from a record label, it really just became more of a family thing where it was just like a whole team. You know what I'm saying? Where it got to a point where 99% of everybody on All Pro had nothing to do with music. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, it was just
family.
you know,
True.
and it's good and it's bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, we went through a lot of shit also All Pro, because out of 99%, majority of them were doing other things that, you know, came with repercussions. And, you know, I had a bunch of investigations in the city on me. I had all types of open cases on us where they thought, you know, All Pro was a thing where we were laundering money, or it was like a drug thing, or like a, you know, you could get hit with racketeering charges. Right. It became other things.
That got crazy.
It became other things, and you guys know about all that shit that we won't talk about on this. But you know what I'm saying? You know,
thanks for the tea.
But so you gotta be careful. You know what I'm saying? When you want to make sure that the people you're putting down into your teams or whatever have your best interests also. So, you know, we had to slow down with a lot of the shit and make sure that everyone who was involved with using the name was using it correctly or for the right purposes. Like, we didn't want it to be like All Pro's a gang or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Which what it was kind of.
It was turned into. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was almost like everything that we got. We always got blamed for everything, even if we weren't even there in Orlando. So we had to slow down with it, basically. You know what I'm saying? Now, when we created the DJ thing, it was a great movement at the time. And we were like, this is great. We were killing it. We had all the Uptown DJs. We had everybody, you know, J5 Queens, everybody coming in. The problem was there wasn't a structure. But when it was created, I'm not the one who ever said, let's create it. You know what I'm saying?
It just sort of
happened. It kind of happened, and then everyone was kind of doing their own thing. And we said, you know, if we had somebody, you know, or structure behind this situation, it could be a lot bigger than what it is.
And I think at the time you were growing a lot too, so
I
was a lot for you to look after other people's careers and I was grow yourself at the same time.
And I was moving so fast. And then Jimmy at the time, who was Mad Jimmy, you know, everyone was kind of looking at him to like, you should be doing this, and he should have. You know, I tell him to, like, he could have made a lot of money, and he could have kind of put everybody under an umbrella and managed all of them and got money from all of them. But he also looked at it like, you know, everyone was on the come up. And, you know, on the come up DJs at the time weren't getting paid like what I was getting paid. So he was like, we're so busy getting real money. Why am I going to start? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that comes from not looking at like
the bigger picture.
He was looking at right now.
Yeah.
Not seeing
it's
a vision.
Not, look, and it
happens.
And it
happens.
happens. And he was very busy also. So in all reality for him, he didn't have the time to do all that stuff either. So with that, everyone, you know, and then eventually you got people, they start feeling some type of way. And like I said, that's why I don't like taking responsibility for things. I got too much on my plate. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't want the responsibility of, well, this DJ feels like he's with y'all, like but he's not, or he's with you guys, but he's not in the clubs with y'all like y'all doing. He's not doing this, that. Why is that? You know, bro.
I mean, there's not a booking.
It's the same thing like when you're doing a record label, and we learned this too, and I dumped a lot of money into our record label and lost it, right? You sign somebody because they're hot. As soon as you sign them for some reason, it's like they don't want to, they now expect you to do it. Like, bro, you got to this level on your own, which is what made us recognize you. Now all of a sudden, you wanna keep going, but you want us to be the ones doing it for you.
That's
like,
basically like never get too comfortable, right?
Yeah.
Never. That's why I said, I'm still even like today. You know what I'm saying? Like now in my life where I'm at today, and with what I'm doing, like even with me taking on music director here in New York, there's a lot of responsibility. A lot that comes with it. There's a lot of late days. Like, I'm here now. Like, shit. I wouldn't be here right now if I wasn't. I had music meetings all day. You know, I got to the radio station at 9:30, 9:45. I'm not leaving the city till 8:30 at times. You know what I'm saying? So I'm having my 10, 11, 12-hour days at some days. You know what I mean? And do I need to do it? No. Is it for, like, the check or anything like that? Not, absolutely not. I'm doing it for the growth and just for, I constantly want to learn and evolve. And also to think for the future, for my family's sake. You know, eventually, doors turn. You know, even though I know a lot of people want to hold on to things forever and want to stay in the club forever or want to do this or that,
you know, shift.
Like you see, like every DJ right now is outside. I don't want to be outside.
I told him that same shit last night.
I want to be inside.
I said, every time I say I'm outside, they want to call Spinking. I'm not Spinking. I'm inside. What happened? I don't know.
No, shout out to Spinking. Spinking is a great example.
No, for sure.
Spinking is a great example of somebody who didn't even need radio. You know what I'm saying? For the DJs out there who feel they need. No, when I approached Spinking about doing radio, he had been approached before, by multiple stations, because of his work ethic, and that's what gets you to where it just comes down to your work ethic. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And how you represent yourself, and he did a great job of that. But yeah, it's like whether you hustling 365 days, I'm at a point in my life I want to spend time with my family and my kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And does that mean I'm not gonna go do clubs and get money and have fun doing what I love to do? Absolutely not. I'm still gonna do it, and I'll do it for as long as I can, or as long as I need to, at least. You know what I'm saying? But eventually doors rotate, which is why I took on music director, and eventually down the line, you never know, maybe I'll become an APD or a PD of a stage. You just never know. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But at least you'll have the knowledge. I'll have the knowledge of doing it all. You know what I'm saying? And that's just why I try to always do as much as I can. You know what I mean?
So in the long run, where do you see Prostyle? You already succeeded in doing so many wonderful things. What else would you like to do?
There's no real answer. Like, so right now, I'm doing what I do, which is I do my radio show. I still do a lot of clubs per week, which is great. I'm doing the music and programming side with one of the best people ever to do it. My mentor in the programming side is Thea Mitchum, who just Google her. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Thea
she's a
Mitchum.
big dog.
Yeah,
like she,
definitely.
and like the same for as long as I've been in the DJ game, and as much as I could teach people about radio 101, meaning from how to sound on radio, one thought, talk breaks, that process, she's teaching me the programming side of it. So I'm learning from the best, you know what I'm saying? So in the future, maybe I'll be on that side, more of that side, and less on the out, more behind the scenes than in front of the scenes. I still got plenty of years to be in front of the scenes. I'm a sexy nigga, but at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Yes. But nah, you know what I mean? I'm just playing. But no, eventually, I'm just saying,
You're gonna just keep climbing the ladder.
I just keep climbing the ladder. You never know. You never know what door opens where. You know what I'm saying? But when the door opens, it's good to be ready for it. You know what I'm saying?
By the end of next century, or next year, he owns the station.
Well, he also been working with Envy.
Yeah, and I'm doing.
That's
so that's another thing I'm doing a lot
chapter
now.
of your life, right?
I'm doing absolutely. I started doing real estate. I've always been I'm not gonna say I've been into real estate like I am now, where I'm actually considered a real estate investor. You're. Once you start a portfolio, you're a real estate investor. So now that I have a portfolio, I have 12 units under my belt already.
Wow!
Like,
congrats!
Yeah,
thank you.
congratulations.
So with that clap just reminded me of that one show I did. So anyway, it's a whole nother story. So, as DJs, we got.
I think we all have
one
a
guy
story to tell.
I DJ
the clap.
They paid me. Let me tell you, I got paid a lot of money to DJ a festival, right? But I DJ'd the early beginning of it, which is great.
Real early.
So like there was like 7 people there at the time, but I got paid. So I had to go do it, and it was crazy because I still had to do an hour set. So I did my hour set, but I never forget. They introduced me, and these guys were there, and we died. I was in tears. They were like, "Hey, coming to the stage right now."
The introduction was crazy for
major.
him.
Like
crazy.
Like you talk about somebody who's doing their job. The host of that party, it was an outdoor event.
Yeah.
There was nobody there yet. It was gonna be it ended up being crazy, but there was nobody there. 7 people strong. He went heavy. Like my introduction was amazing, but when he finished, makes another DJ Prostyle.
And that was scenario.
One lady
clapping.
eating a hot dog. Lady eating a hot dog.
Yeah.
Crazy.
She had to put the hot dog down just to clap. Yo, bro.
Yo, we
These
was
guys on the side.
That's
Yeah.
love.
It was the best. It was the best.
love.
But anyway, so back to what I'm doing now. So I'm getting into real estate now. More. You know what I'm saying? I've always been. Luckily when I was young, my father talked me into buying a house at like 20. So I bought my first house like at 20 years old.
Oh, so you've been doing this.
But I wasn't doing it then for an investment or for a return, which is what real estate.
Kind of
so now, when you're doing real estate now, it's for
something.
actually an investment. So like, I'm not buying nothing if I don't see me making money on it. Now, before it was I need to live here. So instead of me renting, let me go ahead and buy it. And I've bought like 5 houses already or something for myself through my life living. I'm not talking about real estate, And every single time I've bought a house, I've had it for a few years or whatever the case is, and I've sold it and I've made a return on it. So I've actually been smart enough to buy and sell when I don't need it anymore and make a return on it. Other than one house that I took a hit on. But, so now I'm getting more into the real estate game and I'm learning about, rentals and I'm really doing everything I'm doing now for the kids. You know what I'm saying? So that they don't got to do what we do. and they don't got to be in the
God
scene
bless.
like we are.
The
You know what I
last
mean?
question before we let you go, Pro, because I know you want to get home to your kid.
Yeah, he's been here since 10.
Yeah, I know. I know we're gonna get there.
It's all good. It's all
But
good.
speaking monetarily, a lot of DJs, especially here in New York City, I don't feel that they monetarily grow. Why would you say that is?
Well, first of all, what does monetarily mean? 'Cause
Well,
We're having a T.I. moment over here, expeditiously.
did you not hear me when I said I got thrown out of school? No.
Economically, they don't grow.
Oh, economically, that's
Yeah,
the difference.
okay.
Oh, so financially, they're not
Financially.
growing. Well, you know,
What
first
advice
of all,
can
it
you
depends.
give to our DJs
a lot of
for us
angles on
to?
that
It's
question.
a hard one because, you know, here's
what
the
she
thing.
said.
You know, coming up, like, you know, you hear always a lot of people, you know, oh, you shouldn't spend money, you shouldn't do this. I was the total opposite. So, like, I used to make a lot of money, you know, and I still do well, right? But when I was killing it and making a ton, I also used to spend a ton of money. Everybody knows that. I've had Rolls Royces and Bentleys and Ferrari.
Congratulations on your
Lexus.
new one.
No, thank
Brand
you.
new
And I
Wraith.
did that, and I actually invested. I bought myself a nice car now because for the last 4 or 5 years, I haven't spent money on myself. It's been really about the family. And by the way, the car is really about my family. It's really like for date night for my wife. Like, you know what I'm saying? But-
That's nice.
yeah,
That's
I just
nice.
bought her. I bought the car I always wanted. She always wanted a Birkin bag. I just bought her a Birkin bag, which we haven't even put. We haven't even.
Lord, I just got me a Wraith and she got a Birkin.
Yeah, She haven't even. Like nobody knows it. We haven't even put that. By the time this comes out, she would have posted it.
Yeah.
But she hasn't posted it yet. She hasn't even opened it yet. But she's doing like a whole unboxing, which is what it's called, I guess. Whatever. But anyway,
I don't know. You do unboxings?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
So anyway,
but it's a Birkin though. That's
scenarios
20
like I do
bags.
cardboard boxes. But
That's 20 racks on the back.
So, but she got the bag she wants. And she deserves it. You know what I mean? She's had to put up with a lot, which is a whole nother podcast about DJs and their wives. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
What
Yeah.
they have to
About
do.
that.
Good.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
a good
good
one.
topic for next week.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
You know, I get tagged. I get
I
get tagged. I get tagged a lot in. People always do debates on Instagram and social media and Twitter and Instagram. It's always like some random person or a DJ or somebody who's always like doing a poll of, ladies, would you ever date a DJ or not? Or why is it so bad
man.
of DJ?
And
And
then
I
you're
get it.
like-
Listen, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I understand. But I get tagged a lot because people use me, this is how life turns through. Because I used to be on the other side, right? Now I used to be used as the reason why you would never date a
Yeah,
DJ.
you left me there.
Right?
You left me there. I'm still on the
now
other side.
you're
I was
a
on the
great
other
example.
side.
Now I'm the perfect example of he's a DJ who's
Yeah,
still
yeah.
out there killing it, but a very happily married man who's
Yeah, yeah,
faithful
yeah,
to
yeah.
his wife.
Growth.
And
Set
and
an
promotes
example out there
promotes
for
his
kids.
his woman, promotes his children, promotes his family, not hiding the family because I'm trying to, portray some
Still,
life.
yeah, yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
That's not me. I've always been me. And even when I was single, it's because I was single. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't out there promoting, hey, I'm single out here looking for something tonight.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It
yeah.
was just I was single. You know what I'm saying? And so I always get tagged though as like a good pros married pros are perfect example. So you could date a DJ.
Yeah.
Look at pro. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good thing.
And we friends, so they like,
I
yeah,
think
look at
it's even
scenarios. He
unfair
could be
to like
he's good
expect
too.
people to
Then
not
there's
change.
scenarios. Look
Like,
at scenarios. Scenarios, whatever. Don't
single forever.
He's about to say some crazy.
Then there's
Feather flock
scenario.
together, you heard?
Prostyle made it, but yeah, scenario.
He's definitely not. Yeah. Wait. What kind of DJs are we talking about now? Now, so anyway, back to the financial. Look, you got to invest money in yourself. So anybody who says, "Oh, if you making money DJing, save every dollar," bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Unless you have money already, or unless people want, they want the movie. People want even with the car, I got it. There's a couple of promoters hit me like, yeah, yo, bro, finally you needed that. Like, no, I don't need it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've been around the game long enough. I don't need
Yeah.
it, but I get it. The promoters want the car in front of the club. They want the DJ to walk in looking
It's
like
all part of the
they want
investment.
you got to look like a star because people come to the club to see the star. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to come to the club and see
regular
the
Joe
regular
Schmo.
Joe Schmo, because then that's the vibe they get. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Music's all about a vibe. You know what I'm saying? So how you portray the vibe is the vibe you put out is what the energy you put out is what people are gonna get into. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to see like let's just say a DJ who just doesn't look at all like the lifestyle of the music he's playing, DJing on the microphone, talking about shit that you could just tell has nothing to do with.
That's
a
You know what I'm
fact.
saying?
You gotta look the part and play the
Yeah,
part.
so
You gonna be the part.
and that goes with anything. You know what I'm saying? Now, does that mean blow your money, dig a hole, max out your credit cards, put yourself in a situation where financially you're not
I see
succeed.
DJs with fake chains all the time.
And I don't, you know what? I don't agree with that either because there's artists, there's everybody who has fake jewelry. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? It's a little rough because I tell you what, girls get away with it.
They do.
No, girls are allowed to wear
yeah.
costume jewelry.
They can wear that,
Costume
yeah.
jewelry is
There's
very.
stores.
It's
I
very
think
typical.
jewelry
There's stores
is
for
like
that. I'll give
trophies.
you
For
that.
a
Right?
guy, jewelry is like trophies.
Yeah.
Like, I
And
made
I get
enough.
it.
I did enough.
Back in the
I could
days,
afford this.
back in the days when people with jewelry came around, they had status.
Yeah.
Now it's everyone.
Everybody has.
I've
it.
gotten rid of scenario in J5. You guys know, you know what I'm saying? It's
nah,
not
you
like I
had
just
a lot
met y'all.
of jewelry.
And I've gotten rid of so much of my jewelry because I would go out and see people wearing like
It
like
doesn't work.
It just killed the vibe
The
for
first
you.
diamond holder I bought from this guy named Gabe. And this one, Gabriel, who has his own thing now, his own company, Raffaello. This is when he was still with Aviani. This is back in the days. I bought a diamond holder from him and spent like 30 racks on it, 35,000 on a very small. Like these were like pellets. You know what I'm saying? But it was a diamond. This is when diamond holders first started coming out. I still live in Orlando. He was like, "You're the only one. You're gonna be the only person in Florida with a diamond holder." So I remember I bought it. I thought it was a shit. Right? It was small as hell. It looked. From far, you would think I was just wearing like a little silver chain until you walked up. Oh, there's diamonds in there, but it cost me 30 racks. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
Then I started seeing, as time goes on, you start seeing people wearing 5 of them, 7 of them, 10 diamond holders. Then I know jewelry, so I know what a 15-pointer costs versus a 25-pointer versus a 35-pointer.
So
but now
how
all of a
did you
sudden,
get
so
that?
now I'm looking at somebody like, wow, that's a nice 80-pointer.
Yeah.
It looks like a
Like when you know
that looks
prices, you know something
Yeah,
on that,
you know
huh?
prices. So I'm looking at somebody like, yeah, that's nice, bro. You got 2 of them on too. That's crazy. That looks like at least that had to cost you at least 300, right? You know, and then, no, you know, I got my connects. Da da da. Okay, you got your connect. I get it.
Chinatown.
Do whatever makes you happy.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Chinatown.
Whatever.
Do whatever makes you happy. I'm not, like I said, I'm not bad. You could do whatever makes you happy, whatever makes you feel the part. You know what I'm saying? But once you start digging that hole of trying to portray a certain lifestyle, then you end up you're lying to yourself, and then you got to keep up with it.
And
You know what I'm
lies
saying?
never last, bro.
And then let me tell you
Everybody
something.
gets
So
exposed with that
and you
shit.
know this as a girl. Okay,
yes.
so for the guys out there or whatever, you buying fake chains or fake this and that, right? To pick, you know, to look rich or to look like you got a bunch of money, blah blah blah. But then what happens when you get that girl who peeped all that and now she's with you?
You can't keep.
So now she's like, where are we going? Like, oh, we should go
McDonald's.
here. Oh my God, we should go. Let's go to this restaurant. And she look at you like, you gotta have money because you got $500,000 worth of jewelry on. So there's no
Yeah,
question
yeah.
that we where are we going?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a bad look.
So now you're going
It's
out.
over.
Now you calling your boys over. Y'all splitting bottles at the table, and girls
Yeah.
peep everything.
Oh
Girls,
yeah, they quiet.
Girls they'll stay quiet. They see everything, and then they talk about it. I believe me. My wife still got a group chat, the Mean Girls group chat they call it, where she keeps up with everything going on from know, and it's a lot of. I wouldn't be surprised if you're in this fucking shit, but there's a lot of bartenders, a lot of waitresses, like all this
talking
big.
about it right now.
There's a big group chat of girls who, and they be going ham on people. Like, and they be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my wife's
This
in
one
one of
didn't
those.
get this for
Yeah,
Christmas.
yeah, this one or-
this one didn't
I
get
be
that.
watching my wife's on the low. Like,
Yeah, y'all not even. She gonna sleep. I got access. You know what I'm saying? I keep up with, I see what's going on with some of y'all out there. But,
Man.
but no, man. Listen, in all reality, everyone is allowed to live and make any choices they want to make. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I would never judge anybody for spending all their money on real shit or being. Maybe some people are just smart and they're like, I don't need this shit. You know what I'm saying? But I'll shine with it, but I'm not buying the real deal. Who cares? Now it's to a point where look, I know honestly, who cares? Wear it. Because there's so much fake shit out there anyway.
Yeah.
It's not about clout anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not. So it's like when it comes to jewelry, it's like who cares?
No,
You do it
I
for
mean-
yourself. So like if I haven't, to me, everything for me is an investment.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Everything for me is an investment now. And my point, like, so like, okay, I went out, I got a watch. Okay, I got a watch and I got a ring to match it. Guess what? I could go back tomorrow and get all my money back for like this. It's an investment. It's just money that I'm wearing that, by the way, I put insurance on. And if God forbid somebody robbed me or took it from me, I'm gonna get more than what I put in back.
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You know, so
Which
it's
is the
like
right thing to do.
those are the decisions you want to make. And you don't want to get robbed or killed over something fake either. By the way, that's another thing people gotta think about.
That's crazy.
Or end up on the gram like, yo, come get your shit, bro. This shit is fake as a motherfucker.
Oh man.
You know
We're
what I'm
gonna leave it
saying?
here.
You know, but
people
all that
do
doesn't even
fake.
have to do anything with DJing, man.
Yeah.
No.
DJing is like, you know, rock the club, do
But
what
it
you got to
does.
do.
It does. It plays a part in the culture.
Yeah, it goes back to your initial question about financially why I think some DJs are not growing financially. but that just has to do with everyone has. There's no real answer because
That's really
we don't
like
know
their life choices.
and
you know,
also
what they do with
we
their
don't
money.
know what each individual is going through. We don't know
That's true.
if that
That's
DJ
true.
takes care of his family or if that DJ has child supports or if that DJ has bills that we don't know about. You know what I'm saying? So he may not be able to maintain a certain lifestyle like the next person who still lives at home or has no responsibilities.
We know
you know
what
what
it
I'm
is
saying?
to take care of
Like
kids.
I've been taking care. Like let me tell you something. I've been taking care of, and I've been taking care of my mother for at least 15 years now. I pay everything, bro.
God
My mother
bless.
hasn't paid a bill for 15 years. You know what I'm saying? And I've took that burden upon myself even when I couldn't. You know what I'm saying? But that's something that makes me feel good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like knowing that.
That makes you
know?
happier,
There's
yeah.
times where I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
You're like, God
I
damn
paid
it,
this
Mom.
thing. I'm closing on the house next month for her in Florida. That I got to put the money. I drop
Nice.
60 grand here and pay my. That's just part of it. But you're investing in things that you love and that benefit you and your family, and that's what I just do whatever makes you happy.
And this is a life that's probably hard to stay truly happy in, entertainment and all of that. Losing yourself in it.
Yes and no. Let me tell you something. We just had this conversation, which is funny. There's a lot of fucked up jobs. So if you find yourself in a situation where you're getting paid to go play music at a club or whatever, and you're going home and you do that a couple times a month and you could pay your rent off of playing music, God bless you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
There's some people who out
Dress
here
how you wanna
really
dress.
work. There's some people who really work hard
Yeah.
and get paid minimum wage to really
Yeah.
bust their ass. So when we complain about, I'm tired, I don't want to go to the club and DJ for 2 hours.
I be catching myself like that
Yeah.
For
sometimes.
2
like,
hours.
Let me get up.
No,
To make
I
what
feel
they
you.
make
I
in
get
a whole
mad.
week.
I don't.
To make what
I'm
they
the
make in a whole
cancellation
week,
king.
you're right.
I'm the cancel. I cancel myself more than anybody out here. I be in my mood. I'm just how's the club
scenario.
looking? You know what? Don't worry about it. Keep it. You know what I'm saying?
Happens.
But then you go to places and you realize, you know what, you're blessed. You know what I'm saying? So if you find yourself
Yeah, that's a
lucky
fact.
enough to be in this industry, whatever status you're
Get
at,
the
if you could
blessing
pay your
of it.
bills and you making money, whether it be DJing or being an artist or even on social media, you know what I'm saying? There's people paying their bills off of just being on
Yeah.
social media.
This is true.
You're blessed. You know what I'm saying? You gotta look at it
That's
like
a
it's a
fact.
blessing. You know what I mean?
We're going to leave it on that note.
Yeah. I had one more question, but I'm gonna sorry.
So
Yeah,
answer your
yeah.
question,
What-
girl.
what women?
I just gotta get my car before 8 o'clock. We
Yeah.
good.
What would you invest in? What would you tell DJs to invest in themselves into?
Real estate.
No, to make
Oh, to
themselves
To make
a
them
better DJ.
a bigger DJ and,
Not
growth,
real
huh?
estate is to have money, really.
Yeah, real estate is a great investment for your future. But what are you saying?
Like
To help yourself grow?
Yes, as a DJ.
Oh,
Oh man, that's like
well, the most important investment for any DJ out there, is not money. It's just investing yourself, meaning put the time into yourself. Time is the most valuable thing we have on this while we're here anyway. You know what I'm saying? Time is, you can't get it
That's
back.
a great
can't
answer.
buy a
You
second
just
back.
remember, you can't get your time back. Every second that passes, you can't get it back. It's not like money that you could put in investment, you get it back. That's why you got to use your time wisely
Look,
while we're here on this planet. You know
yeah,
what I'm
you're
saying?
right. I'm 1 second
And-
older. I'm 1 second older. I'm 1 second older.
Yeah,
I'm
but
1 second older.
You're 1 second dumber. You're 10 seconds dumber. You're 10 seconds
You
dumber.
guys.
Damn, we gotta end it with that.
And he's 30 seconds dumber now. Okay, so the best investment is yourself, man. Invest in yourself. That doesn't mean you have to spend money on yourself. If you need to spend money on bettering your craft, then do that. If you DJing if you can't DJ good because you know what, I can't practice at home because I don't have turntables, then don't go buy them J's and don't go buy that clothes because you better fucking let me not catch you wearing shit and you don't got turntables at home to practice and then you wondering why you're not getting respect from the DJs who could DJ. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because that's
yeah.
one thing. DJs know who could DJ and DJs know who can DJ. And there's a lot of bitter DJs who
a fact.
I hear complaints all the time about certain people. Oh, this person can't DJ or that person's only here because of social media. Or even and I know you get it as a woman. And I love it.
We
I
had
think
this conversation
We need more,
'cause of-
we need more
Well,
women
that,
DJs
that
in the game.
promotion is actually good promotion for anybody because
Yeah,
now
but
it makes
what I-
people go to that.
Now,
let
when
me
but
see what
you
it's
know-
about.
believe that what they're saying.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what people say. What matters is the proof. So a DJ could say she's only here because she's good or she's sexy and she shakes her ass when she DJs or she has a social media.
Yeah.
That's great, but let a motherfucker get up there, let a bitch get on after you and start cutting shit down and doing some
Now
mixes
what?
and then grabbing the microphone and being aggressive. Now
And they're like,
DJ's like, oh
hold
shit,
on.
she's a DJ.
Yeah. Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And guess what? Becoming a DJ is free. It's called practice. That's all it is. We talking practice? You know what I'm saying? But that's all it is. That's the best investment you can make is in yourself and in your craft, you know? And then once you get to a point where you want to start investing things to take yourself, like not craft-wise, but to another level, to make you do what you feel. You know, like I said, there's been moments in my life where I felt, I needed to have that chain or that car or whatever for my own clout purposes. Then there's times where I get rid of everything and I'm just like.
So what do you think was your best investment in your career as a DJ?
Money-wise or just?
Money-wise, like what did you put your money into that was like, wow, this made a big difference that I put money into this?
That's a tough one because I don't know. But for me also jewelry back then, I would say jewelry.
It made people look at you differently, yeah.
Because when I was wearing it, everyone wasn't wearing it. Plus, I was wearing chains that said my DJ name. I had my own billboard. So if you didn't know who I was, you read the chain. DJ Prostyle, okay. Oh, I heard of you, or I seen. Then once I started doing 106 in Park year after year, my chain became famous. My chain was more famous than me almost. Like that, if I didn't have the chain on, it's like they almost didn't know who I was. Then also I wear the chain. They're like, "Oh shit, Prostyle from 106 in Park." I'm like, yo, that's the chain. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, so you know, my chain was a great investment for me. I think now it's a little different. But if you're gonna buy a chain as a DJ, buy a DJ whatever your name is chain. You know what I'm saying? Don't buy something. Don't buy diamond holders because you want to look like a rapper.
No, make
No,
sure.
At least use it
buy
for
something
advertising for yourself.
Buy something that markets you and your brand. You know what I'm saying? If you this, you know, buy something that markets yourself, and that's good money because you're anything you put into yourself for marketing purposes, I feel like is good investment. You know what I'm saying? So nobody can tell you nothing like, oh, you bought this thing, yeah, but it says my name on it, or you bought that car, but my license plate says it says J5. It says J5. So every time
top 5, baby.
Top five. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
It's J5.
You know what I mean? Whatever, you know what I mean. But, so that's about it. I mean, you know, we could have DJ talk all the time. There's no real answer, man. You know, but I will say the only thing that's a guarantee is that if you don't have the passion for it and you don't practice and you don't put the work in, you're not gonna make it. You can make it off of like a alley-oop from somebody, or this is my person, or here, boom, I'm gonna put you in a situation, or I know Pro and Pro's gonna put me on the radio and da-da-da. And I've done that for a ton of people. You know what I'm saying? Open the doors for a ton of people. Once I open the door, it's on you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Once I open the door for somebody, it's on you. If you don't show and prove, and you don't make people when they're done hearing you, or you're done DJing a club, or you're done say, yo, that person's dope, we need that person on again, or back in this club again, or whatever the case is, then hey, there it is. That was your opportunity that you lost. Now you gotta wait for another one. You know what I'm saying?
Stupid.
Facts.
So that's about it.
So this was
thank
it.
you so much
Music
for
director,
coming by.
DJ Prostyle, Power
Yeah.
1051,
Yeah.
Party Starter Podcast. Thank you so much, Prostyle.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys, and don't bother me again for like another.
You got it, boss.
Hey, make sure you lock the door before you leave here and clean up. All right, I don't want anything.
Get, we applying pressure. Soon as we catch him, he start talking like Alexa. Let him say the wrong thing, we open him like a dresser. Fuck it, I don't care how they feel. It's whatever. The pumper knock him and his man right out his leather. I get these niggas 80 with these 240s together. Ain't no fucking mission impossible, stick together. Me and my niggas wrapped the hood up, we came together. If he going, then I'm...
And we are back.
Ladies and gentle people.
Shout out to Prostyle for coming through.
Yes.
Yep, shout out to Pro.
Dope interview.
But we got somebody, you know what I mean, that's here with us.
Get.
Cash
get the
getter,
money.
Don Dollar.
Big getter.
Hey.
Big getter. Get.
Okay.
How you feeling today, Don?
Heavy on it. You know how I'm doing, what I'm doing.
All right.
My buddy.
Well,
So-
thank you for joining us
Heavy
today.
on it. And you fire. I had to tell you that.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you.
Listen, I think let's just get out of here. Let's just give them some, you know what I mean?
We'll let them talk.
Yeah, let them talk. Go ahead. Handle your business.
All right, so tell us about yourself, man. Where you from?
I'm from Queens, Woodside. I mean,
He says that. Hold on. This West Side. Because I asked you.
Woodside.
Woodside.
Okay.
Oh, you thought he said West
I thought he
Side?
said West Side. He said West Side, but this West Side is so confident when I asked where you from. He said, I'm from Queens. West Side. Like, hold on. You can't forget the West Side.
how could you forget me? What are you talking about? That's crazy. That's insane. Like, I am Woodside. I'm the big getter. You hear me?
So me and Dollar, we kind of grew up together. You know, he grew
Okay,
up. He was like
nice.
best friends with my cousin growing up. You know, so I knew him on and off
Shout
for
out to
years.
40.
And yeah, shout out to my cuz 40.
40's my bro.
DJ First 48, shout out to the cuz.
Huh?
And you know, like now he's growing as an artist. He's around Fabio Foreign a lot. And so let's talk about that.
Yo.
How did this happen? The whole Fabio Foreign thing. Let's talk about the story, the connection of where this all came about and how it came about with you and Fabio.
Yo, y'all ain't even gonna believe this shit, B. Well, I don't mean to curse, sponsor.
Nah, you can curse. We can say whatever the fuck we want.
Like this shit. Alright, so long story short though, right? Like I came home from doing 8 years, well 7, but I had to go back for another year. But I came home from doing that time for somebody else. Long story short, so they was trying to put me in a shelter, but I'm like, in a shelter? What you talking about? Like I'm the big getter. Like I don't do no shelters. Like we gonna get the crib, we gonna do everything else. Like you know what I'm saying? So they like, nah, you gotta go there. We gonna lock you up. I'm like, I just came from there. I don't got time to be going back.
Yeah. 8 years is a long time. First of all, 8 years is a long time.
That's a long
To
time.
spend anywhere there.
Through
you know
his
what I mean?
20s.
Without your freedom. Period.
It's equivalent to like
You know?
what Bobby Schmurda and them going through right now.
Yeah.
Same shit, you know.
Right.
It's like real shit.
So they was telling me like, oh, we gonna lock you up if you don't go. So I'm like, all right, fuck it, I ain't going back to jail. Like, I mean, it's lit out here. So one day I'm in a shelter in Brooklyn by Greenpoint. Like every day at 4 o'clock I'm gone. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't waste no time. We not getting seen in here, nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? So boom, 4 o'clock in the morning, walking up the block. I just got finished working out in there though. Cause like, and I was mad big. I was like 225. So I was working out and shit. So I'm coming up the block, I got the wife beater on, I'm coming. When I go on the Greenpoint train station, so I'm sitting there waiting, train taking mad long. So I start doing some push-ups. So when the train come, I see like it's a few niggas on the train. So I'm looking at my bro, I'm like, oh, these little kids, like, who hurt one of these little kids, like for real. Like,
Yeah. Especially coming with, you know what I mean? Like, I'm here and I'm tight because I gotta stay here.
Oh, so you
know what I'm
already
saying?
know
So
what
I
I'm
know
at
what your
with.
type of time you was
Yeah.
on. Like, I'm tight. I'm about to,
definitely
oh,
on that
man.
time. Hey, yo, so when they get on, so when I get on the train, I'm standing there, so I'm hearing like these dudes whispering and shit, like, so I'm like, in my head, I'm laughing, like, I'm like, yo, boy, I'm turning around and I look like, yo, I'm gonna hurt one of these little kids, I'm gonna grab him and break him, like, you know what I'm saying? But when I hear them whispering, I see them looking. So when I see them looking, it's a dude laid out, like, stretched, like, he's done, he's sauced, like, I'm drunk, whatever he's on, like, you know what I'm saying? So as I'm looking, I'm like, oh, they ain't talking about me, they talking about him. So like, I'm like, all right. So I get up, I start doing pull-ups on the joints, because now I'm trying to see who that is, like if I know him. I don't know this dude. But for some reason, I see a blue flag hanging out of his pocket. Oh, by the way, I'm Crip. Like, I'm one of the big Crips, you up. But I see a blue flag hanging out of his
Yo,
pocket.
I'm like, I scared me when you said that. Wow, but go ahead.
Nah, you safe. Trust me. You all right. Hey, so like, yeah, but I'm like one of the big Crips. So long story short, when I see the blue flag, that's when I'm like, oh no, y'all niggas not doing nothing. What y'all talking about? Like, it's over for that. Like, you know what I'm saying? But when they seen like how aggressive I got, like them niggas, like the doors open and they got up out of there. Like, you know what I'm saying? But then I wake Fabi up like, yo, boy, what's up? But it's still one of them like, nah. Like, so what's up, nigga? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he ain't on that time. He was just fronting. Like, you know what I mean? But I'm waking Fabi up like, yo, cuz, like, yo, be on point, but you good though. Like, you can go back to sleep. But I mean, if you want to help me, you could. Like, I see he's so done, he's so finished that he's not even functioning and understanding what's going on. I'm saying, but then after me and Boy was about to get it, he ain't even want no more smoke. Then I wake Fabi up like, yo, what's up, you good? Like, yo, I'm good looking. I'm like, yeah, don't worry about it, cuz. Like, I pieced him and I'm like, yo, like, you sure you know where you going? Like, you safe? He like, yeah, I'm
Talking
good.
to the mic. Talking to the
My
mic.
fault. I'm like, yo, you sure you know where you going? You safe? He like, yeah, I'm good. So I'm like, all right, he don't got no shoes on. Cuz ain't got no shoes on. Like,
Oh, wow.
Cuz was like, I don't even know. I don't even know where he came from. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But so one day I go to my project, so I'm sitting in the hallway or whatever. I'm rolling up, I'm smoking. So I was locked up with this other big homie named P Gutter, free him by the way. So we talking, and I'm like, yes, other day I was on the train, had to save some dude. He probably was one of yours. Like, who? I'm like, yo, his name like Fabio or some shit like that. Like, so he like, what? Hell no. I'm like, hell no. He like, yo, I got his number. I'm like, call him. So when he call him, he look, and I'm looking, he just staring at me at first. Then I'm like, yo,
Oh,
you
on
don't
FaceTime.
remember? Yeah, I'm like, yo, you
Alright.
don't remember me? He like, I'm like, yo, boy, I just saved you on the train. He was like, oh shit, bring him to me. After that, that's where I've been.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been
Oh,
in the
so
game.
this is, he was already who he was? Or
He was already rapping, but I ain't know he was a rapper.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't
Okay.
even know he do that.
This is
You know what
before
I'm saying?
Big Drip really picked up
This was
and all
way
of that.
before Big Drip. Like Big Drip wasn't even around yet. Like, you know what
This
I'm
was probably
Yeah.
like maybe like a year, 2 years ago.
like a year, yeah,
Like a year.
pretty much though.
About a
And then
year.
like I just been fucking with him. Like he been telling me like, yo, pull up, I want you here. You like my guardian angel. You well, And then ever since then, like I don't miss a beat. He call me every day, check on me, everything. Like
That's
make
a
sure I'm
good like story of fate. You never know like who you meet and who you help and what it could turn out to be in the
Right.
future.
I ain't gonna lie, that Big Drip song is a hit, B. Like,
Yeah.
every time I come on, I can't stop. Like, I can't.
But
man.
fast forward to today, you have a record with him, correct?
No, I don't have one with him yet.
Oh, okay,
you know.
sorry.
It's in the
But
works.
you do have a
In the works.
record.
In the
okay?
works, produced by J5.
Because I know I've been,
got
you know
a
what I mean?
few.
I rock with you, so I know you working on some music. You just shot 2 videos.
Facts.
Tell us about all that.
Them last 2 videos I just shot, well, one of them was with my young boys. Like, I don't know, like I came up with this group. I wouldn't say a gang.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Because like we ain't really on that like that. We about the bag, like, you know what I'm saying? But I came up with this group called True Cash Getters, TCG. Like, you know what I'm saying? So all we do is get to the bag, like. So, I mean, I wound up getting locked up and they kept it alive. My young boys kept it alive. So when I came home, I turned it up. Like, you know what I'm saying? On a whole different type of side. You can see, like, I mean, you be around, you know what I mean? So I turned it up something crazy and then I was never a rapper. I came home and just did it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I seen my brother doing it. I'm like, oh, that's what you doing? So I went to Best Buy, bought some beats, went in the crib, sat at the table and was just staring at the table trying to do it. Put it together, boom. Next thing I know, like, I mean, I got my whole hood rapping. I mean, my whole hood. I even heard my mom's trying to bust around. That shit crazy. I couldn't believe it. So, like, I really want to see my young boys win too. So, like, I'm just running around shooting videos with them. You know what I'm saying? But really working on myself, but like really pointing them out there too. It ain't just me, it's them too. You know what I mean? Because they kept it alive while I was going. So, like, why not? I mean, like, but them 2 videos right there, like, one is a freestyle. Both of them is actually a freestyle, but one of them was like, I was feeling away that day. Like, that was like, it was like a true story fake though. Like, I mean, but I didn't want to say that. I didn't want
True story fake though.
Yeah. I'm glad you caught that. True story fake though.
True story fake though. Alright.
So, what do you do in the rap situation for? Do you do it for the fame or you do it to get paid? Or a little bit of both?
Yo, like, I'm for the fame. Like, it's really like, I don't know. I just do it.
Are you hearing music in your head? Because you moving the
like,
shoulder
just
bob.
told
You see the
I
shoulder
can't-
bob?
Sometimes I have to be so in the mood. Like, I don't know, like I'm a happy person.
You just
like,
love it.
yeah,
You
right,
love
yeah,
what's
yeah.
happening
Yeah,
right
like-
now to your life.
Yeah, because
this
like, I
new
came from
discovery
nothing.
of music
You gotta
and
understand, like,
rapping.
I'm nothing, like from the bottom. Like, I've been on my own since 14. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I appreciate any and everything. Like, anything that's given to me. Like,
Absolutely.
I mean, anything. Like, I don't even care if you give me gum. We're gonna chew together.
Oh, I'm gonna use that.
He talking to you, Blue.
Okay, but you mentioned nobody's open. Well, I don't know anybody who openly comes to say I'm part of a gang in today's world, but you openly said it. So let's talk about it. What do you feel like being in a gang does for? I want to ask these questions for the youth. I want, like, you know, for anybody looking to get involved, or, you know, what does it do for you?
Nothing. It did jail and things like that. I ain't do nothing. I didn't accomplish anything from it. I mean, like, all the work I put in it made me a somebody, but like, I ain't accomplished nothing but jail.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to the youth today?
Don't do it. Be yourself. There's nothing wrong with being yourself. Like, that's who I am now.
Yeah.
And say, but you know, there's a big crib saying it. Like,
Yeah.
I want you to
Yeah,
say
but
with the same confidence you said. You know,
You can't though, because like,
That's something you earned, though.
yeah, like you gotta.
You know,
really
you put
do
in-
that.
put
you
in
gotta
pain for
really
that
be about
kinda-
that. Like, it's not a game. Like, you could die out here trying. Like 50, you hear him? Yeah, like we from Queens. He understand. Like, I mean, like people really like being in the gang. I feel like you being a follower. I mean, I'm gonna tell you how it happened with me. Like, shout out to Gray too. Hey yo, Gray is my man. Like, I'm gonna keep it 100. Like, he's one of the illest Crips I ever met. Like, he take this to a whole nother level. Like, but like this was like my man. Like, this was my man. Like, stupid. He's still my man to this day. But I was with him so much, and it was going down so much that they already thought I was Crip, and I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
end of the day,
Crip
I
It just became you. It became
Yeah,
the person you was. So it's just.
I felt like if I didn't be behind him, I wouldn't have been Crip. Like, I felt like I was being a follower, but like it was so intense, and I was so excited about doing it. Like, these dudes is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
it
And
turned
that
me
was,
into
you
an
could say
monster.
that was your younger mentality
Yeah,
that they got you in.
I was
all
being
right.
stupid.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
pretty sure
yeah.
everybody kind of
Yeah,
stupid.
yeah,
when
of
they
course.
young.
Everybody had that stupid
So
moment.
what is Gutter Gang?
My gang,
Okay.
heavy on it. Get.
What
That's what we say.
what do
We
you
say
guys
get for
represent?
short. Like, we get the bag. It's just not about money. Everything. Everything. Like, whatever you see you, that's how we are. We gonna
You
keep it like
see
that. Just like that. Like, whoa. Like, I ain't get a chance to get dressed enough because like J5 just kind of like snatched me up and all that. Like, it wasn't no time to do none of that. So I'm like, all right, we
It was a
chilling, you know what I'm saying?
spontaneous thing.
Yeah, it's always like that. Shout out to him. Shout out to him too.
Yeah.
Scenario J5, them people in the world.
Y'all be outside, yo. Y'all be
outside.
outside.
Yeah.
My
Listen.
guys is out, and I'm
We
out
out
there
here.
with them heavy. So
Yeah.
please don't try it. Like,
Okay.
We out here.
heavy.
As you should.
So we got a video dropping.
Yeah, you in it?
Yeah.
Wow, heavy on it. You in it?
Top 5
You should've been in
J5
it.
live. Ooh.
You know. That's
Nah,
another
J5
one.
don't invite me to none of that.
Yeah,
It's okay.
he a Bronxman. We had to keep it clean. Sorry, bro.
Yeah.
Do you
See you in the club.
Yeah.
So as part of you becoming, because to my knowledge, this is new to you. The artistry is new to you. What do you have a plan for what you want to aspire to do?
No.
You're just kind of rolling.
I'm just going with the punches right now. Like,
We're gonna take it as far as we can take it.
Yeah, like I'm the type. I don't really like. I don't ever look forward to nothing. Like I'm just. It is what it is. I mean, like whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, that's just how I roll with the punches. Like
Yeah.
everything and anything. Like, you know what I mean, like I never really force nothing. I never really want nothing. I mean, like.
At the end of the day,
something. That's just how I feel.
At the end of the day, I brought him here today because I see a lot of potential in him.
Mm-hmm.
He only been rapping for a short amount of time, but you know, some people just have a talent for it.
Yeah, nah.
He showed me his music, and we've been around his music game for a long time. We get tons of artists that come to me,
Tons.
but I see it. You know, like like when you know somebody got it, and I ain't gonna lie, I feel like my man's got it. He got
so
the
you got that
sound.
spark.
It's real. It's not
Okay.
fake. And I think that's the most important thing right now with all this fake shit going on. 6ix9ine this and 6ix9ine
Yeah,
that.
we
You know what I'm
super not
saying?
lying.
As
He
he
really
was that
about
boy.
it.
Old
Like,
telling.
Well, damn, I'm gonna
Listen, there's not a lot of people that are
Yeah.
real anymore. You know, because the internet allows you to fabricate shit, and people don't even really care about what's real no more. But we gonna bring them something real now.
Facts.
Okay, all right. Well,
What do you rap about
2020
in your music?
Facts.
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 I rap about
I
facts.
don't like lying. Like,
Yeah,
I ain't really
yeah,
into
yeah.
lying. Like,
Big
know what I'm
facts,
saying?
big
So
facts.
it's
Get it,
either
get it.
something I would do or it's something that I'm doing already.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or that been done.
Or that's been done.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
basically.
right.
Thank you. Save me on that.
So that's it. Don Dollar, Cash Getters.
Tell
Please
tell
don't.
everybody where they can follow you,
Hey, I'm
find
on
you,
the gram. Hey,
music, dropping, where
I'm
you
doing
dropping.
this or this.
You say that to the mic.
You say it to the mic,
I'm
yeah.
on the gram, Cash Getter _Dawn_Dollar. I'm on Facebook, Dawn Dollar. Heavy on it.
SoundCloud.
SoundCloud. I mean, damn.
Your SoundCloud.
You messed me up. Hey, on my SoundCloud, Dawn
Yeah.
Dollar. Shout out to Scenario, J5,
Blue Diamond.
Blue Diamond, heavy.
Yeah.
And she Blue Diamond.
Uh,
Crazy. But alright though.
Blue that color, huh?
Yeah, blue that heavy on it.
Yo,
Shout
we
out to
appreciate
Don
you
Dollar.
coming through the Party Starter podcast, and we hope that everybody looks forward to your music and everything dropping for you.
Yo.
And we're gonna be watching because you know we support the new artists coming up, and we like to break artists. So
I appreciate
you
y'all
know
for
what I'm
having
saying?
me here. Thank you.
Get a gang. Let's do it.
On No Gang.
Hey.
Let's get it. We out.